Healthcare reform may just be the new third rail in American politics. Now, brand new polls are showing that the president's push for government-run healthcare may be responsible for the end of Obama mania. Now, today's Rasmussen daily presidential tracking poll shows that the anointed one's disapproval rating is now higher than his approval rating. And on healthcare, an overwhelming majority of those polls say that not passing healthcare reform this year would be better than passing the Democrats' plan. Joining us now to help sort through all of this, columnist, you see him often on National Review Online. Andy will be filling in for the great Rush Limbaugh tomorrow.
Yep.
Now, if the people don't know, that microphone's really gold.
That is a real golden EIB microphone, as you well know, Sean. Yeah.
Yeah, my first 5 minutes filling in for him once, the microphone fell to the ground. I'm like, oh no, my career is over.
Yeah, that's not a good. I'll try not to do that.
Well, good luck. But you've been filling in. You do a great job. Let's talk a little bit about these polls. The president's approval rating. Every reputable poll shows he's losing ground. Right. Healthcare's losing ground. What's your analysis?
Well, his personal rating is coming down now to meet the unpopularity of his policies. Basically, it's only a few weeks since Newsweek was telling us that he's a kind of god who bestrides the world like a colossus.
Right.
And the more he's connected up with these policies, the more he's just another 50-50 president, like his supposedly discredited predecessor. And I think that's because most people, a lot of people, believed that he really was this post-partisan, centrist, pragmatic, fiscally conservative figure that he campaigned as. And as you and a few others pointed out, he's not. He's the extreme left wing is where he's lived all his life, and he has a transformative domestic political agenda that people don't want.
What do you make of what was going on? We discussed this with Dick Morris. This trial balloon about eliminating the public option, which I argue it's still going to be government run. They're still going to control costs. They're still going to ration. But what do you make of what they did?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a kind of feint. What he needs to do is pass something. He needs to get across the river and burn the bridge, because once you do, it won't be possible to go back. So what he has to do is create the conditions for embryo government health care, because that's the fastest way to a permanent left-of-centre political culture. That's true in Canada, that's true in Europe. To guarantee a permanent left-of-centre political culture, you need to get some form of governmentalization of health care.
This is the holy grail of the left.
Yeah.
I mean, they have put a lot of political capital in this.
Right, right.
The American people don't want it.
No.
By a pretty large margin.
Exactly.
So are they going to try and force it down America's throat?
Well, I think they've had to back off, but I think they will try and force it down. You know, Sarah Palin got a lot of stick for this death panel, but that's absolutely what it means. The Fraser Health Authority in British Columbia has just announced it's cutting back on seniors' services to eliminate its budget deficit, and it's going to cut elective surgeries by 15%. What that means is that you can elect to have the surgery, but the government won't elect to give it to you.
Yeah.
That's what government health care, government bureaucrats inserting themselves between you and your doctor, that's where it always leads.
Let me just hold up for our audience at home. Poll, 57% don't see the stimulus working. This was on the front page of USA in today's edition. Look, the government can't run cash for clunkers, Mark. No. Medicare's bankrupt and Social Security's bankrupt. Why is there any American that has any confidence that they could run the healthcare industry?
No, well, the little bits they do. This H1N1 flu vaccine, they were supposed to have, whatever it was, 120 million shots ready by the fall. They've now said it's only going to be 40 million. That is what think of anything you like. Would you want it run by the government? Would you like to go on vacation to a government-run hotel? No, you wouldn't. They have those in the Eastern Bloc. Nobody wants government running anything that's important to them.
But look at the latest. Not only 57% don't think the stimulus is working here. We got home prices declining. These are the latest headlines as it relates to the economy. Retail sales are down. Revenue to the government's down. Last week we announced that the government in 1 year has quadrupled the deficit. Foreclosures are up. The cost of government day went to August 12th this year, which is, you know, nearly 2/3 of the year we work for the government. And they want to buy G5s for politicians.
Right. Which is disgusting, by the way. I mean, that's really what's driving a lot of the anger out there, is people like Arlen Specter and Nancy Pelosi. They're our representatives. They're not our rulers, and they've forgotten that. And that's what's driving a lot of this anger. But you're right, this is all completely wasted. And that's why his approval rating's fallen, because people are saying no matter how cool he is, if your home's falling in value, if your job job is in jeopardy, if your health care is in jeopardy, what good is it to have a super cool president? It's not enough.
What do you make of, we just had Katie Abram on the program, what do you make of the attacks against American citizens and the mobsters, the Tim McVeighs, the Nazis? Why would the Democrats do that? What strategically and tactically is the benefit?
I think they have to. They do it very effectively with individuals. They did it with Joe the Plumber. They did it with Sarah Palin. Now, where they're of course talking complete nonsense is if you think back a couple of years to those anti-globalization summits. I went to the Summit of the Americas. All these people come in, these youthful activists so-called come in, they trash the town, they throw bricks through McDonald's, they smash the street windows, and everybody says, oh well, that's just their idealism, left-wing idealism. Doesn't matter how much you trash and destroy in the name of left-wing idealism.
Is this the Alinsky model? You know, isolate, polarize?
I think it is. I think they can't afford. These are ordinary citizens. And what's interesting is they're not even Republican or right-wing, a lot of them. A lot of them are just seniors who are concerned about what's going to happen to Medicare. Yeah, they're not agents of dark forces. They're ordinary citizens confronting representatives who have forgotten that they are citizen legislators and not the Gulf Stream rulers.
We forget the term public servant, Mark. They're supposed to be public servants. All right, here's my final question for you. Look, they may be repositioning where they are. I don't believe they've given up their ultimate goal, which is the elimination of the employee benefit system, a single-payer system Obama is on record as even saying he wants. Where does this end up? Do they now go back to the drawing board, come up with new talking points? Did they go through incrementalism? What do you think?
No, they want an embryo plan that contains within it the seeds for a government health care system.
The co-ops, but is the co-op any different than the so-called public option?
No, I don't think so, because in the end, if you have a government perspective on health care, it leads to rationing. The thing about a death panel isn't that it's a panel that actually says, we're denying you this treatment. It's that the whole system is in fact a kind of death panel, because it has to make judgments about letting Mr. Smith live and Mr. Jones live. It's the nationalization of your body. The government says, we have the right to decide whether you can have your hip replaced.
They have the right to decide that. They ration care, they dictate the price, they dictate the supply, and they run competition out of the market.
That's right, that's right. It's happened everywhere.
All right, you'll be in for Rush tomorrow?
Yep.
All right, we'll be listening. Mark, good to see you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.